ومنكم عيد مبارك علينا وعليكم تقبل الله منا ومنكم عيد مبارك علينا وعليكم صمنا أياما أحلى.
This activity goes back since to the days of Abraham, when he was commanded by God Almighty in a dream to sacrifice the thing that he loved most. And at that time it was his son, because he had gotten that son in actually very old age, between 84 to 86 years old. Then he got that son. So the son was very, he really loved him. And as a matter of fact, he loved his son more than anything else. So God Almighty told him in a dream to sacrifice the thing that he loved the most.
Yet Ibrahim was fully prepared to follow Allah's command and to do what he instructed. He took his son to the top of Mount Arafat and brought with him a knife and rope. Upon reaching an appropriate place, he told his son about his dream and what Allah had commanded him to do.
So his father took him and they tied him. He asked his father to ensure that he ties him up very firm so that he doesn't wrangle. But fortunately, when he rubbed the knife on his son's throat, God Almighty commanded the knife not to cut. And he even tried a second time and still the knife wouldn't cut. And then he heard a voice, God speaking to him, that I am pleased that you have been able to carry out this great act. But in actuality, I do not need your son. I was just testing your faith.
Every year during the month of Dhul Hijjah, the last month of the holy calendar, Muslims around the world perform Qirbani to remember what Ibrahim did. In the Islam faith, brothers and sisters use Ibrahim's deed to inspire devotion, obedience, and submission in their lives. Muslims sacrifice animals, preferably a goat or cow, using special rules and practices in memory of Prophet Ibrahim's sacrifice.
In Guyana, as around the world, is that most of the sacrificed animals must be shared away to the poor and needy. So you'll find here at the MYO, we're actually sacrificing about 200 animals. Around the country, with all the various masjids and mosques, you're probably looking at between 2,000 to 3,000 animals that will be sacrificed, and all that, 2/3 or more of that meat we distributed to poor and needy families around the country. We have found that this year there's been an increase in numbers of families who've come in out looking, and remember, Muslims don't differentiate between Muslims and everyone who is in need is given an opportunity to partake and benefit from today's sacrifice.
From us here at the HGB 90 News, Eid Mubarak.